What's up? What's up, everyone? It is the Profit Report with AB and Steve. Tonight, I'm holding it down solo. AB is out. He has to take care of some family business, so I'm holding it down today solo. And, we got a new week. Yesterday, we ended the week with the chill stream. We talked a little bit about crypto. We talked about a little bit about Heritage Foundation Project 2025, and what else do we talk about? Um, and we read like some news from Yahoo News, what was trending and stuff like that. Oh, we talked about Labubus too yesterday. Today marks though a new week. We're doing restaurant week, and as per the request of the audience, today we're doing Cracker Barrel. Oh, Market Mike in the building. What's up, man? What's going on, Market Mike? We missed you the other day. Holding it down solo. AB is not here today, but we're covering Cracker Barrel today. And luckily for us, Cracker Barrel is a publicly traded company, so we can see the financials. And that's what we're gonna do today. How are they doing? How's their finance looking? And are you a fan of Cracker Barrel? I mean, this is their website. I mean, I've been to Cracker Barrel. I like their store, but the food is kind of weak for me. Um, oh, Market Mike says currently modeling CMG. I know y'all covered it already. Super helpful. Oh, okay, okay, all right. That's what's up. What's your model showing, man? Um, Food buns, checker, and games fun. And games are fun though. They are. The vibe is nice for Cracker Barrel. I would have to admit the vibes are is nice. The food, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. The food is kind of like, it's like whatever. And I've had it a few times. I haven't had their pancakes though. Supposedly, their pancakes are good. That's what I've been told. So look at some of the food offerings that they have. Man, it looks good on picture though. Old timers breakfast, brown sugar lattes, crispy tender dippers, butter pecan sticky buns. Ooh, that looks good. Back to busy. I mean, the pancakes look nice. Pictures, they got nice pictures. Grandma's pancake. He said, Market Mike said, not good. Maybe breakfast slaps. Yo, for real. I think that's what's happening. I think breakfast does slap. I like their little store in the front as well. They got a lot of little quirky things there. I know people that go there just for that, not even to eat. So we're checking out their website to just see what they have. I don't know any other restaurant that adopts this similar model where you have a store in front and then there's a restaurant in the back. Like the store is, I mean, it's slightly smaller, but it holds a good amount of real estate. And this is the only restaurant I could think of. I don't know. You guys could correct me. That has this type of model where a store and a restaurant is combined. I mean, it's not a bad idea from a concept standpoint. I mean, we're gonna see from a financial standpoint if it's helping them. I mean, and then look at some of these prices are reasonable. I mean, Christmas tree mini salt shaker, $1.49. Oh, I say that, and then I see the infant sweater romper, $24.99. I mean, it's not that crazy expensive. It's just somewhat reasonable. Sweaters. So they have a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. All right. So, let's go back to the beginning, and then we'll cover the annual. Like, where did they come from? How was it invented, etc. So, Cracker Barrel was founded in 1969 by Dan Evans. Dan Evans. What does he look like? I want to see what Dan looks like. Danny boy. Oh, so he did pass away. Okay. Low key looks like Gene Hackman a little bit. A little bit. So Dan Evans was an American entrepreneur and founder. Market Mike says, didn't the share price just tank after logo change? Yes, Market Mike. And that is something we're going to cover. That is absolutely true. The share price did drop. People were not feeling the logo change. And that's something we're going to touch on. But yeah, that is absolutely true. So as an American entrepreneur, Willy Wonka looking owner, I'm dying. So he was born in Smithfield, Tennessee on October 11, 1935, youngest child of Estelle McCartney, William Jackson. As a child, he graduated from Castle Heights Military Academy. Okay. Then he enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps and then attended Auburn. He also worked as an aide for his uncle. Oh, so his uncle was a U.S. representative before taking a position with his family at oil company. Okay. Evans founded Cracker Barrel in 1969 while he was working for Shell Oil. He opened the first restaurant in Lebanon, Tennessee, on Tennessee State Route 109. He borrowed $40,000 to construct the first Cracker Barrel, which turned a profit just 1 month after opening. Oh, that's impressive. You know, most restaurants, first of all, most restaurants die anyways, and then to just turn a profit after 1 month, that's pretty impressive. Evans was the chief executive officer of Cracker Barrel from its founding to 2001. Sheesh, that's a long time. So for 32 years, 1969 to 2001, that's 32 years right there that he was a founder and CEO. And after a shareholder exodus due to his discriminatory policies, whoa, we might have something juicy here. What was his discriminatory policies? Okay, all right. We might have to dive a little bit into that. I mean, he is the founder. He was also served as the chairman of the board of directors for Castle Heights Military Academy. In 1998, Evans led the drive by Cracker Barrel to purchase and restore the Mitchell House in Lebanon. Okay, so he did do some. Looks like he donated some money, $2 million. So during the early 1990s, Evans instituted an official company policy prohibiting the hiring of openly gay individuals. Oh, okay. Following backlash from large shareholders from progressive areas, such as New York City employee retirement system, who threatened to vote out the entirety of upper management, the company reversed the policy. Man, money talks. You know, you institute a policy, but they're like, yo, we gonna change this up. Bam, reverse the policy. Yes, Money Mike, Market Mike. It is absolutely wild and crazy. So in 2001, the shareholders replaced Evans as CEO. So that's why he lost his job as CEO. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the founder and CEO of Cracker Barrel. We're just doing a little background on him before we start diving into the financials. So who at that time serving as the company's chief operating officer, so the COO took over. Evans maintained his position as chairman of the board. That same year, the board voted unanimously to add sexual orientation to Cracker Barrel's non-discrimination policy, with the term officially being added to the following year. Okay. So he was not a fan of gay people, but looks like he reversed that policy after some backlash. So the U.S. Department of Justice announced that it has settled a lawsuit alleging that Cracker Barrel employees at approximately 50 of the company's 500 locations discriminated against minority customers. Ooh. Oh, this is in 2004, including 50 stores located in Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, North Carolina, that engaged in various discriminatory policies, including racially segregated seating and service quality. Wow. In the settlement agreement, Cracker Barrel pledged to implement a series of changes, including to strengthen and make public the company's non-discrimination policy, retain and terminate employees in violation of new policies. Um, to be honest with you, right? And I don't really care about race. I mean, in this case, but every time I've gone there, I've usually noticed it's mostly white people. I don't know if black people go to Cracker Barrel like that. Maybe down south they do, but in up here in the Northeast, I only see white people. I really don't see black people in Cracker Barrel. I have not seen a lot of black people. So, I mean, let me know, guys. If you're from down south, maybe it's different. Do black people like Cracker Barrel? Let me know. At the company's 2004 annual meeting, shareholders voted to re-elect Michael A. Woodhouse. So by January 2012, Cracker Barrel had more than 67,000 employees. Market Mike says, old grandparents, white people. Yes, that is the group that I typically see when I go there. So Market Mike also sees the same thing as well. So, and this is something Market Mike, well, I'm just call you Mike, this Market Mike thing. Instead of doing that. So Mike was mentioned in this. So in August 2025, the company made headlines for introducing a new modernized logo, which caused significant online backlash. So we look at, let's see what the logo is to look like. Cracker Barrel, old logo versus new logo. Let me see if there is a comparison pictures. Okay. So it looks like they took out the dude. I'm surprised that people get that upset though about little change. Like, does it bother you? Like, I don't know. What's the big deal? So the revamp, come on, show me a picture. Okay. So this is the old logo on the left side of your screen with the guys seated. And the right side is the new logo. I mean, little difference, nothing crazy. So what's the backlash about? Why? It says Cracker Barrel's decision to revamp and simplify its long-standing logo has inadvertently become a new culture war flashpoint, with conservatives raging against the redesign. Okay, the Southern-themed restaurant chain, which is based in Lebanon and first opened its doors, originally had simple gold branding with its name spelled out in brown lettering, intended to evoke an atmosphere of a friendly wood-frame general store selling dry goods to the pioneers. So in 1977, it added a seated figure of a man wearing overalls leaning against a wooden cask alongside the name, and the process creating an icon of folksy Americana that has endured ever since. The revamp removes the leaning figure and marks a return to the original design. So the one that the new logo that they adopted is actually the original design. So it's not like they actually completely just changed their logo. They just went back to the simpler design, with the company saying that its new logo is now rooted even more closely to the iconic barrel shape and wordmark that started it all. So what's the big deal? In a statement, the business elaborated anchoring Cracker Barrel's signature gold and brown tones. The updated visuals will appear across menus and marketing collateral, including Fifth Evolution. As harmless as that may sound, the move has incensed members of President Donald Trump's MAGA movement, who have taken to social media in their droves to hammer out howls of complaint. What the fuck is wrong with Cracker Barrel? Wailed Donald Trump Jr., the president's eldest son, quote, tweeting the Woke War Room account, which attacked the company's CEO, Julie Fles-Massino. She scrapped the beloved American aesthetic and replaced it with sterile, soulless branding. How did they even notice? How is this becoming, main news? Massino kept a DEI regime that promises to identify recruit and advance hires by race, and now faces civil rights complaints from America's first legal. MAGA podcast that Benny Johnson called the new logo absolutely horrible. Guys, what do you think about the new logo? I mean, do you like the old logo? Do you like the new logo? Just your own opinion. I'm just curious. Absolutely horrible. So the podcaster says the new logo is absolutely horrible, while right-wing pundit Owen Schroyer told Cracker Barrel, "This is your logo. It's literally a cracker in a barrel." Yes, own the hilarious irony of using a racial slur against your main demographic. It will attract that younger crowd you're reaching for, or serve better food. Watching on with glee, anti-Trump poster Rob Flipkowski commented, "They're melting the fuck down over the new Cracker Barrel logo, and I'm here for it." I mean, it says many people compared the redesign to the Bud Light controversy of 2023, when conservatives, led by rapper Kid Rock, moved to boycott the beer label for featuring transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney in a brief commercial. I mean, is that really a fair comparison? If you put a transgender person on your logo, I mean, that's different, that touches a lot of religious group. But compared to just these people just removing the person, I don't know. So one person labeled Cracker Barrels the Bud Light of formerly great restaurants. I mean, they're making a big deal out of this. I don't get it. Why? Okay, so I'm curious. Why is it a big deal? Why the uproar over the new logo? Let's see what AI has to say. So the uproar over the new Cracker Barrel logo was due to a combination of factors, including the removal of iconic imagery, a perception that the brand was abandoning its heritage for a generic modern aesthetic, and the change becoming a flashpoint in a broader cultural debate. Sentimental attachment for many customers, the old logo featuring Uncle Herschel leaning against a barrel was not just a logo, it was a representation of the brand's identity as a cozy, nostalgic, old country store. The detailed imagery evoked a sense of everyday Americana. Brand suicide. So they say the new text-only design was described by critics as generic, soulless, and bland. The logo change is part of a larger 700 million modernization effort that also includes redesigned, decluttered restaurant interiors. Some customers reacted negatively to this new, sleeker look, calling it cold and sterile, and preferring the original warm, rustic aesthetic. So there's also allegation of being woke. Mike says, biggest non-story ever. Really? I do not get what the big deal is. That is bizarre. I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to make something out of nothing. I really don't see the big deal. So, okay, back to the story of how Cracker Barrel became where it is now. So 1969, he started it. Then he intended for the restaurant and gift shop combo to boost gasoline sales by creating a comfortable roadside stop for travelers. So that's why he created it. The concept was inspired by the country stores of his childhood, complete with rocking chairs and old-timey items. Evans served as CEO until 2001 and died in 2012. So 1970 was incorporated in February 1970. After the mid-1970s oil embargo, the company stopped including gas pumps at new locations. In 1979, the Singletons, antique dealers who had decorated the first store, were succeeded by their son Larry as the company's chief picker for decor. And then in 1981, the company went public, meaning you could buy the stock anybody could do that. I mean, that is very long ago. Low-key genius idea to create this, says Mike. Yes, I think so as well. 1981. That's a very long time ago for this company to be public. The chain grew consistently, reaching 47 stores by 1987. So within 6 years, they added another additional 46 stores and a market value of 1 billion by 1992. That's pretty impressive. Gas station and rest stop restaurant. Yep. You know, I guess maybe nowadays we see a gas station and rest stop restaurant. Like it's more common, but maybe for around that time, I'm gonna look it up. If maybe this is a brand new idea. So we talked about the controversial policies, what happened in the 1990s. There's also racial discrimination. There's also a failed side project, a test of standalone gift shops. The Cracker Barrel Old Country Store Corner Market was shut down in 1997. And there was also in 2010 trademark dispute. So in 2013, after a trademark infringement lawsuit with Kraft, makers of Cracker Barrel cheese, the restaurant chain renamed its grocery line CB Old Country Store. Okay. Then the first Cracker Barrel on the West Coast opened in 2017. And in 2019, Cracker Barrel acquired the Maple Street Biscuit Company. So during COVID, they began partnering with delivery services. And then in 2023, this new CEO, who is the current CEO, Julie Fels Messino, became the CEO. And then in May 2024, Cracker Barrel announced it had lost 16% of its customer base since 2020, citing a loss of brand relevance. And then current status, according to AI, we just talked about the public backlash about them switching the logo, and the stock fell by more than 10% following the announcement. And the company responded by saying they could have done a better job with the logo rollout. The company also emphasized that its core values, home-style food, and the Uncle Herschel figure, who is not the man on the logo, but is an important figure in the brand's lore, are not changing. I wonder if they're going to bring it back. And then their goal is Cracker Barrel is aiming to refresh its brand to attract a new generation of customers while retaining its traditional country charm. So we're going to look at also why did they change their logo, because most of their customers are older people. We're going to look at that as well, so you can see it from AI and their own financial statement. But I am curious, when he did start this business, when this business started, did gas stations and rest stop restaurant exist? So they did exist, but what made it unique? So the original Cracker Barrel concept was designed to stand out from the growing fast food options of the era by offering a comfortable, family-friendly, full-service dining and shopping experience. The gas pumps were included to attract customers for his family's oil business. So what made him stand out as well is that the comfort food that they offered in addition to the gas. Like, it looks like there was other people offering food, but maybe not comfort food. Okay, so let's see their financials, man. Let's dive in, guys. Let's dive into it. So if you guys want to get the 10K, you can find it many ways. You can go to their website. There's a investor relation page in almost any publicly traded company. And you could go there, look for a 10K. That means, and it's an annual report. Or you could go to the SEC website and type in the company's name, or you could just Google it, whichever is easier. Mike says family friendly versus trucker only, cargo shipping probably. Yeah. I mean, to have gas and then have some decent comfort meal. I I mean, that is nice, especially for around that time period. So this logo is no longer. We're reviewing their latest annual report that we have is from December 2024. We'll try to touch on their latest quarterly report as well at the end. But this is what we have right now, and it still has their old logo. This guy's sitting down. All right, let's see. So the company is based in Tennessee, in Lebanon, Tennessee. It trades under the symbol CBRL. What else? So Cracker Barrel is a principally engaged in the operation development of the Cracker Barrel Old Country Store concept, founded in 1969. Yeah, we said that. Store format. So in 2024, they announced a strategic transformation plan. The strategic transformation plan is anchored on three overarching business imperatives: driving relevancy, delivering food, and an experience guests love, and growing profitability. So three goals. So they also launched a loyalty program to leverage guest data to better understand consumer behavior and identify ways to drive frequency and engagement. As part of the plan, we're defining our brand, including by improving our store's design and atmospheres. We're currently testing store remodel prototypes. Our store remodel program includes two categories: full remodels and store refreshes. They said they expect 20 to 25 to 30 stores will be fully remodeled and 25 to 30 store refreshes. So store format, the format of our stores consists of trademark rustic old country store design, offering a full service restaurant menu that features home-style country food. And then the store consists of our freestanding buildings and consists of approximately 20% of gift shop space, with the remainder dedicated to our restaurant. So 80% is restaurant, 20% is dedicated gift shop. And it says the front porch of each store features rows of signature Cracker Barrel rocking chairs, which are popular items sold by the gift shops and which we invite guests to use while waiting for a table. I didn't know they sell them rocking chairs. Products, our restaurants would generate approximately 80% of our total revenue. So the restaurant is their main business. It generated 80% of their revenue. Offer home-style country cooking, featuring many of our own recipes to emphasize authenticity and quality. Our restaurants serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner daily and offer dine-in, pickup, and delivery services. Menu items are moderately priced. Approximately 93% of our Cracker Barrel restaurants serve an assortment of beer and wine as the end of 2024. Breakfast, they serve pancakes, meat, grits, a variety of biscuits, specialties. Oh, they even put their price range for their breakfast. This is a first. We haven't seen this with any other food stocks that we covered. They have the price right there. It says there's some variation in menu pricing. The average check per guest during 2024 was $14.05, which represents a 5.1 increase over the prior year. That's kind of weak. Only $14. I mean, what is the average check per guest at other restaurants? $14 kind of seems little, man. What is the average check per guest for Cracker Barrel and its competitors? List at least 5 other $14. So the food is fairly affordable. So the average check per guest for Cracker Barrel is $14.05. This is slightly higher than, and it used to be lower. So the broader casual dining average is about $26. So Cracker Barrel is significantly cheaper. Average check is $14. That's crazy. So Denny's, how much is the average check? Oh, it doesn't. Okay. So Denny's does not state what the average check is. What about IHOP? No. Bob Evans does not release. First Watch, Waffle House. Chipotle Chicken Bowl in NYC is beeping $24 alone. Dang, what? A chicken bowl in NYC from Chipotle is $24? Oh my God. I know $14 is very cheap. I am very surprised. That is super low. Like you go to McDonald's nowadays, you get a full meal. You're paying over $10. Wow. Okay, that's pretty low. It's not good. And look at their price right here. So breakfast ranges from $6.99 to $20.99. Lunch and dinner, $5.19 to $25.19. So percentage of sales, percentage of restaurant sales in 2024. So breakfast day part consists about 25% of their sales. Lunch is 37% and dinner is 38% of sales. So dinner and lunch are the most popular options. The following table highlights the 5 categories that accounted for the largest share of our retail sales. Apparel and accessories. So they make more money with their apparel and accessories? What? No way. Or retail sales. Okay. Within their retail sales, not the restaurant. Okay. So within their gift shop, apparel and accessories makes up 32%. And then the food is 18%. Decor, toys, media. Our typical gift shop features approximately 4,300 stock keeping units. I mean, that's a lot of inventory. Certain food items are sold under the Cracker Barrel Old Country Store brand name. We believe that we achieve high retail sales per square foot of retail selling space, approximately 515 per square foot in 2024, as compared to traditional retail stores by offering appealing merchandise by having a significant source of customers who are typically our restaurant guests. So their cost, they have a restaurant section, right? And then they have the retail section where they sell items. Their retail makes 515 per square foot. And I think it does better than regular retail. How much does a regular retailer make per square foot? So, the national average for all U.S. retail segments is approximately $325 per square foot. Benchmarks figure can range from over $5,000 for luxury brands to around $300 for some big box stores. Oh, okay. I mean, Walmart, Target is $300. So Cracker Barrel's little gift shop per square foot is doing pretty good compared to other retailers. I don't know why they're not doubling down on that. Okay. They only get about 20% of their revenue from there. So then why? If they're getting a lot of sales, why is only 20% of their revenue coming from that? Questions. Product development and merchandising. We maintain a product development department which develops new and improved menu items. Okay. Our merchandising department selects and develops products for our gift shop. We are focused on driving retail sales by converting these customers who come to us for a restaurant visit. Our assortment includes both core and seasonal themes. Store management. At each store, our store management typically consists of one general manager, 3 to 4 associate managers, and one retail manager. To motivate managers to improve sales and operational performance, we maintain bonus plans designed to provide managers with incentives to meet and exceed the operational targets of their store. Okay. Purchasing and distribution, we negotiate directly with food vendors as to specification, price, and other material terms of most food purchases. We have a contract with a unaffiliated distributor with the custom distribution centers in Lebanon, Tennessee, McKinney, Texas, Gainesville, Florida, a lot of different places, mostly down south, and then California. We purchase the majority of our food products and restaurant supplies on a cost-plus basis through this unaffiliated distributor. Distributor is responsible for placing food orders, warehousing, and delivering food products to our stores. Deliveries are generally made once per week to individual stores. Produce is purchased through a national program and is delivered 2 to 3 times a week. The majority of which are under the ownership of 2 separate unaffiliated companies. Beer and wine are purchased and distributed through approximately 630 distributors, with deliveries ranging from weekly to monthly. The following table highlights the 5 food categories which account for the largest share of our food purchasing expense. So they buy a lot of fruits and vegetables at 14% of their purchase, poultry 13%, dairy. I gotta say, man, I love this financial statement thus far. It is very detailed, and they break it down. It is super nice, and like when they break it down like this, even to their purchase. That is cool. Each of these categories includes several individual items. Boneless chicken breast is the single food item with these categories that account for the largest share of our food purchase expense. In 2024, at approximately 5% of total food purchase. Okay. We purchased our pork through 7 vendors, poultry through 9 vendors, and beef through 6 vendors. Man, they are very specific. I love it. The majority of our retail items, approximately 80% in 2024, are warehoused at our retail distribution center in Lebanon, Tennessee. So all of it essentially comes from that distribution center. The distribution center fulfills retail item orders generated by our automated replenishment system and generally ships the retail orders once a week to the individual stores by two third-party dedicated freight lines. The remaining retail items are drop shipped directly by our vendors to individual stores. Approximately 1/3 of our 2024 retail items were purchased directly from vendors in the People's Republic of China. Why do they call it the People's Republic of China? We have relationship with several foreign buying agencies to source product, monitor and quality control, and supplement product development. Isn't this hilarious, though? This is supposed to be an American store, but then 1/3 of their retail items comes from China. It's kind of ironic. Oh, that is kind of ironic. Maybe this is why, the right is pissed off at Cracker Barrel. It's because most of the stuff is not American to begin with. I mean, 1/3. It's a decent chunk. Information technology. We believe that an essential part of pleasing people is established through our ability to leverage technology. We use technology to enhance the experience of our guests and our employees. Okay. Our store employees use a range of systems to manage inventory, labor, forecasting, and orders. Our data solutions provide management with daily reports to operate stores in cost collective effective manner. Off-premise business. Approximately 20% of our restaurant sales are generated through our off-premise channels. Our off-premise business consists of 3 channels: individuals to go, third-party delivery, and catering and occasion. I don't know Cracker Barrel does catering. So individuals to go, so they do to go order, then they do third-party deliver, like through Uber Eats and DoorDash. Catering and occasion includes offering for large party sizes, which include our popular heat and serve offerings that are available for certain holidays. In 2024, individual to go, third party delivery, and catering accounted for approximately 48%. So people ordering at the store and saying to go is 48%. Third party delivery through Uber Eats and that 32%. And catering was 20%. Guest satisfaction. We are committed to providing our guests a home-style country cooked meal and a variety of retail merchandise served and sold with genuine hospitality in a comfortable environment. Our mission statement, pleasing people, embraces guests and employees alike, and our employees are trained on the importance of that mission and a culture of mutual respect. We are also committed to staffing each store with an experienced management team to ensure attentive guest service and consistent food quality. So their mission statement is pleasing people. We have a guest relations call center that take comments and suggestions from guests. We use internet and interactive voice response systems to monitor operational performance. Marketing, they do have multiple media channels, outdoor advertising, billboards, and State Department of Transportation signs is one of our largest advertising vehicles. So they're a little bit old school. They don't really do digital as much. It's billboards and State Department of Transportation signs. Those things are expensive too, guys. If you look at some billboards are expensive. If you look at how much, let's look. How much does the median billboard advertisement cost? Yeah, billboard advertising is expensive, guys. So look, a static billboard on a rural road might cost as little as $250 per month. This is in the rural area, while a digital billboard in a prime urban location could be over $100,000 per month. Yeah, in most places that I've seen, it's like some places it's like $500 to $1,000 a day. There's a company called is it Lamar in the Northeast. They essentially control most of the billboard advertising, and I wanted to know at one point how much it cost, and I got a quote for them. I was like, oh my god. And this wasn't even a digital billboard, it was a static billboard, but it was insanely expensive. So this marketing strategy that they do adapt, and the other thing with billboards is it's hard to measure. How do you measure effectiveness, really? Let me know, guys, if you know in the comments. It's kind of hard. It's one of those things. It's like, oh, a lot of people could see it. A lot of people travel on the road. This highway is like over 10,000 cars that pass every few hours. But like, how effective is it? Like, there's no real concrete data that you could say like, yo, this is, maybe that's what they need to do in the future with these billboards. Have like some eye tracking, so then it's like, oh, you could say, hey, these many people saw it, like some eye tracking thing. But then even then, I don't know how you would attest if it's true engagement or not. Or maybe some type of locational, like within that vicinity, if some type of action is prompted, if you're able to track the location, then you could attribute it to the billboard, but that might be complicated. They also have to give you location permission. All right, maybe not. Anyways, in 2024, they have over 1,300 billboards, and this expenditure accounted for approximately 1/4 of our total advertising spend for the year. Sheesh. So we're gonna see how much if they state what number that is, we just divide it by 4 and we'll see how much they spend on billboard for each one. We continue to optimize our net billboard advertising mix, which includes television, digital display and video, mobile social media, and search marketing. Our digital marketing efforts have also expanded to focus on improving brand preference, guest engagement, and sales. We have presence on multiple social media sites and several food delivery apps. Store development, we opened 2 new Cracker Barrel stores in 2024. Plan to open new stores, open 2 new stores during 2025. As of last year, approximately 83% of our stores are located along interstate highways. That's good. Our remaining stores are located off interstate or near tourist destinations. They had 658 stores open. They own the land and buildings for 358. Oh, okay. We got a little McDonald's and Cracker Barrel, huh? They own the land and building. Okay. Okay, my interest suddenly peaked. While the 300 properties are either ground leases or ground and building leases. Building site improvement, furniture, equipment related development costs for the stores opened averaged approximately $5,700. What? Hold on. These numbers must be wrong. Are these in the thousands? How? How is this 835 per store? Building, site improvement, furniture, equipment, and related development costs for stores opened during 2024 averaged approximately $5,700. Only that much? There's no way. There's no way. This cannot be true. There is no freaking way that's what it costs. There is no way. This cannot be right. I mean, this would be shocking. Please verify if this statement from Cracker Barrel is correct. It said the statement provided contains figures that are other unverifiable official company reports. The cost. Yeah, this must be. They must have wanted to report in the thousands. Guys, I'm stuck on the number over here where they say buildings, site improvement, furniture, equipment, related development costs for stores opened during 2024 averaged approximately $5,700, and pre-opening costs averaged $835 per store. This must be in the thousands. Like, there's no way that it only cost that much. Like, they missed some numbers. Yeah, that's not possible. There's no way renovation costs would only cost that much. Yeah, let me know, guys, if you see something else that I'm not seeing. Current store prototype is approximately 8,900 square feet, including approximately 1,900 square feet. Man, their restaurant is kind of big, though, no? I mean, how big is an average like Applebee's. How big is, how many square feet is the average Applebee's, Olive Garden, IHOP, Denny's? The average Applebee restaurant size is often cited around 5,000 to 5,500 square feet, so it's smaller. Olive Garden is a little bit bigger, 7,000 to 8,500. IHOP is 4,000 to 5,000. Denny's is kind of small, 3,800 to 5,000 square feet. So comparatively, I mean, their square footage is on the higher end. I mean, even if you take the 1,900 square feet of retail selling, then you're still left with 7,000 square feet. Why do you have such a big real estate? Like, that's not necessary. And I'm only mentioning all this because the company's not doing so well. So these are things I would do if I was them. They also operate Maple Street Biscuit Company locations. There's a breakfast and lunch fast casual concept like Cracker Barrel. Oh, Maple Street Biscuit Company. Let's see what that looks like. Maple Street Biscuit Company. Where is this at? You guys ever been there? Ooh. Food looks kind of good. Oh man, all this looks from mushroom gravy to pepper jelly. Our flavors are bold and never bland. So this is owned by Cracker Barrel. This looks good. Oh, so they have a store as well. Find a location. I don't know why they don't. Let me see. I wonder if there's some in the Northeast. How many Maple Street Biscuit Company? How many Maple Street Biscuit Company locations are there? 59 restaurants in 10 states as of 2023. And then they have, okay, 59 restaurants. Okay. Let's see. So, as of this financial statement, 68 MSBC locations were open, an increase from 59. So they had increased the numbers. So no MSBC locations were franchised. We believe that MSBC will serve as a long-term growth vehicle that complements Cracker Barrel while providing increased exposure to urban and suburban markets. Okay. That's good to know. As of last year, they had 77,600 people, of whom 350 were in advisory and supervisory capacities, 3,300 were in store management position, and 45 were officers. Many store personnel are employed on a part-time basis. Our employees are not represented by any union, and management considers its employee relations to be good. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. It says that as of August 2024, 34% of our employee population is racially or ethnically diverse, and 70% of our employee population is female. Wow, that's big. 70% of Cracker Barrel employees are female. Wow, that's the biggest one I've seen thus far. Let me see if there's any other company that we looked at that had that kind of proportion. There was another company, but it wasn't this high, how many females there were. Currently, there are 7 business resource groups in Cracker Barrel. Okay, we don't need to look at that. Employee development training. Yeah, they do training, of course. Employee benefit compensation. Say that they look like they say they offer a robust set of benefits to help our employees. These benefits include medical, dental, vision, prescription drug, life insurance coverage, as well as short-term and long-term disability insurance. And they have an employee assistance program. In addition, we provide all our employees with access to paid parental leave, adoption benefits, a 401k savings plan, an employee discount policy, an employee stock purchase plan, okay, and a competitive vacation policy. Our compensation and performance evaluation systems are carefully designed to maintain pay equity by focusing pay decisions on experience and performance, okay. Quality assurance and food safety, competition. Who is Cracker Barrel's competition? So like stores like IHOP, Denny's, Applebee's, and things of that nature are, even Waffle House are considered competitors for Cracker Barrel. Raw materials, sources, and availability. Essential restaurant supplies and raw materials are generally available from a number of sources. Government regulation, nothing really. Trademarks, we deem the various Cracker Barrel and MSBC trademarks that we may own to be of substantial value. Our policy is to obtain federal registration of trademarks. Okay, research and development. So they're not doing a lot of research development. It doesn't look like they're making any like new like menu items, because it says they are spending on research development, but not material enough. So it's not significant enough for them to state it. Seasonal aspects. Historically, our revenue and profits have been lower in the first and third fiscal quarters and higher in the second and fourth fiscal quarter. I mean, the fourth fiscal quarter makes sense, right? Because that's holiday season. But why is it higher in the second quarter? The second quarter is what? April, May, and June. What happens then? Why? Because maybe people are getting out of winter, perhaps? I don't know. Why? Our gift shop sales, which are made substantially to our restaurant guests, historically have been highest in our second quarter, which includes the holiday shopping season. Hold on. Do they not have a fiscal year that's different? What is their fiscal year? So guys, any companies could adopt any fiscal year that they want. So it doesn't have to be from January to December 3rd. I mean, December 31st. They could have from March to March. They could do June to June. I mean, I've seen companies do September to September, March to March, May to May. You could do whatever you want as long as it's 12 months. So let's see, Cracker Barrel fiscal year start and end. Oh, look at that. That's why. Okay, so their fiscal year ends on July 31st. Oh, shoot. Okay. So their year end, so technically their 2025 actually ended just about like 22 days ago. So we'll be able to see their 2025 report coming soon. They don't have it available yet. So they have chosen on the Friday near the July, the start and end can vary slightly each year based on the calendar, but it ended on August 2, 2024. This is another thing to note because then their quarter would be different, right? So if their year starts at August, so August, September, October would be the first quarter, then second quarter would be November, December, January, which makes sense why this second quarter would have one of the highest sales. Okay, that makes much more sense. And so that's when they have the highest amount of retail sales. It says our gift shop sales, which are made substantially to our restaurant guests, historically have been the highest in our second quarter. Hey, Bree, what's up? Welcome. Hey, better late than never. We're here reviewing Cracker Barrel. Did we already cover the rebranding? We did. We actually did cover the rebranding. But, since you just showed up, I'll show you. So are you familiar what it looks like before and after? What is your thought? I mean, Mike and I were talking, and I honestly don't see a big. Well, what's the big deal? Like, it wasn't like a major change. Cracker Barrel, like it wasn't that big of a deal. And what we found out as well is this was their old logo to begin with. The new one used to be their old logo back in the days. But yeah, there has been.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Let's end things with Cracker Barrel. Of course, we know this is a company that's been
I'm really into
in focus.
Explain it to me because I'm very confused.
So much chatter online, right? I mean, everyone's talking about this company right now.
Why?
So we saw a slide in shares today, and that's after the company decided to change its logo. So if you're familiar with the company, their logo has always featured a man sitting on a one of those little, what do they call them, a barrel?
Yeah, it's a rocking chair.
Yeah, a little rocking chair moment.
Shoulder.
We're removing that now.
Elbow perched on. And that sent the stock down?
Yeah, so we're moving on. People are really attached to this logo.
I don't get it.
I'm not to be pedantic, but I mean, this has somehow become a political culture war issue. And I honestly do not understand it. So explain it to me.
Have you guys been to Cracker Barrel?
Yes.
Okay, so you're familiar when you walk in, vibe the energy.
Look, if you want to reminisce about the antebellum South, it's a great place to go.
We have a bunch of them back in Virginia, so I'm definitely very familiar with the restaurant. But seems as though people are not really happy about this shift that they're seeing here.
Part of it is because the CEO who made the decision here is a woman. So that is fanning some outrage in some circles. I'm sure online. There's always an online
in
circle.
all seriousness, though, it does get to this idea of just, and even you were pointing out Open Door and, of course, a stock that has seemingly rallied for no real particular reason. It gets to the idea of why certain things are getting bought and sold, not for any real fundamental reason, but because they've either become political footballs, either in a good way or in this case with Cracker Barrel on a bad way, and just kind of.
So yeah, guys, they recently changed their logo. There's a big upheaval. Bree says, I agree, wasn't that big of a deal. I'm assuming they took away the cracker and the barrel, but it wasn't a big deal. Yeah, it really was not. But I think when we did the research as well, it looks like the right wing, even Donald Trump Jr. tweeted about this saying, this is not American, blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of what started the whole. He himself was not the one that started, but the right wing started attacking this company about their logo change. But it wasn't nothing major, honestly. They only took like the guy away. So yeah, it was a little too much for no reason. And what's funny about it too is actually, the stuff that they sell at their gift shop, looking at their annual statement, 1/3 of it comes from China, which is funny because it's considered like an American store, but then most, like 1/3 of it comes from China. So that's kind of funny. All right, seasonal aspects. So they sell more. So 80% of their sales comes from the restaurant, 20% comes from the gift shop that they have. And they own about 300 or so, the restaurants. They own the land and the building. The other half, they do not own, they lease. They also own, are you guys familiar with, what was the name of the place? We just looked at it. It was like a biscuit company. They own that as well. It's called, literally just saw it too. Yeah, Maple Street Biscuit Company. You guys familiar with that? Maple Street Biscuit Company. Their food actually looks good. Bree says she thinks it's a waste of time. I agree with you. It's like somewhat politically connected to stuff because, when you look at the logo, there wasn't like a major change. But yeah, this is the place. They own this company as well. They have about 69 stores as of the end of 2024. Food option looks good, and it's kind of similar to Cracker Barrel. They also have a store within it, and they have food. But yeah, they bought this company like a few years ago. So now currently we're at, and the employee benefits is pretty good. They do offer like life insurance, the 401k savings plan. You could even purchase the stock through them. So benefits of working there are actually pretty decent. Okay, they're talking about risk. Labor is a primary component of our operating costs, and increases in labor costs due to increased minimum wages, competition. Okay, that is a risk. What else? The sale of food and prepared food products for human consumption involves risk of injury. Yeah, of course. So in 2024, we announced a strategic transformation plan to enhance our menu, retail offerings, support our brand, improve operating margins, and improve the efficiency and effectiveness of our operation. And this is before they adopted this logo change. So we're reviewing this statement before they did the logo change. And as you can see, they had planned on doing some type of change. And one of those things was changing the brand, the logo, because most of their consumers are older people and they're trying to appeal to the younger generation. And they do have a lot of competition. Look, even in their statement, they said, we face intense competition. And if we're unable to continue to compete effectively, our business, financial condition, and results of operations may be adversely affected. And compared to other stores, we looked at it. So their Cracker Barrel, average Cracker Barrel is about 8,900 square feet. And 1,900 of those square feet is the retail space where they sell gifts. 7,000 is the actual restaurant. When you compare that to who their competition is, because they also compete with like Denny's, IHOP. Denny's is about 3,000 to 4,000. IHOP is about 5,000. Applebee's is about 5,000 square feet. When you compare them, they have a lot of size. So when you have a lot of size too, your cost increase because you're leasing half of your store. Cost of lease increases. So I'm curious, and now in their new strategy, if they're gonna, cut down the real estate, because that would be something I would consider doing, especially if my competition doesn't have. You don't need to have big real estate. What else? Let's see. Unfavorable publicity could harm our business. Funny that they mentioned that, because they mentioned this in December or August of 2024. And then now them with the brand change, that actually did harm their business, funny enough. Wow, they called it. It says, additional social media uses and platforms are constantly evolving. And as a result, we need to innovate and develop our social media. Wow. Because I haven't seen this with other, well, we've seen it with some, but I haven't seen it with a food company. Failure to maximize or to successfully assert intellectual property rights. Okay, so risk related to our capital structure. So you're talking about their money, perhaps the money that they borrowed or bonds. So it says the performance of our business as affected by the level of indebtedness could prevent us from meeting the obligations under our revolving credit facility or the indenture governing the $300 million aggregate principal amount of 0.625 convertible senior notes due 2026. So they have a big loan due in 2026. Maintaining sufficient liquidity to operate our business or service our debt obligation, we cannot provide any guarantee of future cash dividend payments. So they do offer cash dividend. But they're saying if they're not able to pay off their loans, they might not be able to pay dividend or buy their own stock back. Look at this. Or that we'd be able to actively repurchase our common stock pursuant to a share repurchase program. What else? We may be unable to raise the funds necessary to repurchase the notes for cash. So they must have a lot of debt. We haven't seen their financial yet. We're going to see it soon. The convertible note hedge may affect the value of the notes. So they keep talking about notes. Any notes, when they mention that it's some type of debt, it could be a bond. A bond is a debt that you sell to investors or to institution, and you give them a percentage. But you could also get debt, obviously, from a bank. You could get it in a form of a loan, or you could get it in a form of like a revolving credit, like essentially like a credit card or a line of credit. So they have some of that. Risk related to IT systems. That's a risk for anybody. We outsource certain business processes. Legal and regulatory risk. Okay. Oh, they do a lot of advertising on billboards as well. They did 1,300 billboards advertisement. And I mentioned this before. Billboards are extremely expensive, guys. You think billboards are cheap? Billboards are very expensive. And 1/4 of their marketing spent was spent on billboards. We're going to see if they tell that number, how much they spend on marketing. Then they'll give us an idea of how much they spend on each billboard. But billboards could cost like $1 million a month. Digital billboards in like popular cities, they could cost up to $1 million per month. Standalone billboards could cost, $50,000 to $100,000 per month. And that seems to be one of the main ways that they advertise. Our business could be negatively affected as a result of actions of activist shareholders. Oh, let's see. Activist shareholders have nominated candidates for election to our board of directors, including matters such as a dividend policy, capital structure, and strategic alternatives. The Lion Fund, Bigleri Capital Corp., Southern Pioneer Property and Casualty Insurance Company, and are the beneficial owners of approximately 9.3% of our outstanding common stock. We recently received notice from Bigleri nominating 5 candidates for election to our board of directors. Dang, 5 candidates? That's big. If a proxy contest ensues, or if we become engaged in a proxy contest with another activist shareholder in the future, our business could be adversely affected. Oh, what's up, San? How you doing? What's going on? AJ in the building. Bree, everybody, man. Shout out to all of y'all, man. Appreciate you guys being here. So they do have, activist shareholders, guys, means that, if someone has a significant share in the business, they could advocate for their own directors to be in the board, and then they can make some changes on how the company is steered, whether that's to give in dividend. AJ says, when are you talking about how they ruined the deco? Are you talking about their logo? So with these activists, decor. Oh, yeah, they did make some changes to their decor. So In addition to the logo change, they did update what the Cracker Barrel store does look like. Cracker Barrel new store design. Let's see what it looks like. So they changed their so this logo right here is no longer anymore. That guy sitting there is no longer there. It's just Cracker Barrel, and the Old Country store is off. But in addition to that, they did make some changes in the store. I had read about it. I actually haven't seen. Oh, this is what it looks like.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I kind of like it, honestly. It's kind of simple. Like a minimalist type. I mean, this is my vibe. The other stuff, it was too busy before. What do you guys think?
No, God!
Bree don't like it.
No, God, please, no! No! No!
He says he thought it was me.
No!
I don't know. I'm not a big Cracker Barrel fan. Maybe that's why. I thought it was too much going on. But Bree, who suggested this company, obviously is a fan of Cracker Barrel, and she don't like it. So the people that are customers don't feel this. But she wasn't as appalled about the logo change. He said, "What's the big deal?" Yeah, we didn't know what the big deal was. It honestly was a small, minor change. It was their old logo. I don't know why so many people are upset. It has become a big thing for no reason. Sam says, I don't even remember the first time I've been there. Yeah, and I was saying this too, right? Most of their customers, and you guys could tell me maybe down south is different, but out here in the Northeast, most of the customers for Cracker Barrel are old white people. I don't see a lot of diversity when I go to Cracker Barrel. Down south may differ, I don't know, but out here, man, it's all white people. AJ says she's interviewing saying, NG, everybody loves it, yet everyone hates it. CEO lies. Oh yeah, so the CEO is getting a lot of backlash as well. So the CEO who made this change, let's look at her a little bit. So Cracker Barrel CEO. Let's look at her a little bit. Let me see. Julie Fels-Massino. This is her. By the way, over 70% of the employees at Cracker Barrel are female. Let me see. Does she have a Wikipedia? No. You know what? Let's just go to her LinkedIn. So what kind of experience does she have? I would say this though, right? When women are in leadership position, I feel like they give them a little bit of a hard time. I noticed. I don't know. Let me know, ladies, if you think as well. AJ says you say the name with so much hate, Steve. I do, man. I think Cracker Barrel is so overrated, but it's surprisingly still in business. Has been in business for a long time. So she was a board member for Vivid Seats before. I don't know what that is. She was also a board member for Kohan. Also, she also was the president for Taco Bell. Okay, so she has some experience. She got a communication degree from Miami University. She has a lot of experience. She was a senior vice president for GM Fisher Price, Sprinkles Cupcakes, even worked at Starbucks. It's the VP. So this is the current the current CEO of Cracker Barrel. So as you can see, she has a lot of experience. AJ says, Sam says overrated. I felt that. Dang, I didn't even know I was doing it. It's mixed. Had it the first time Saturday. Oh, so what did you think? My battery's about to die. Pass me USB-C. Damn. So what did you think about the food? I'm telling you guys, the food is mid. I haven't tried the breakfast, but the lunch and dinner. And their biggest seller is their dinner, followed by their lunch menu. And then the breakfast is the least purchased product. I don't know if it's because people, and the average, guess what, actually, the average cost or the average check was for Cracker Barrel. How much do you think the average person, how much do they spend? What do you guys think? I'm gonna give you guys 30 seconds to guess. And I'm gonna tell you the number, and the number surprised me. Why you guys, any guess, just guess how much you think. AJ says eggs weren't anything, pancakes were good, and the French toast thing was good. So you had the breakfast. I gotta try the breakfast. So Bree says $60. Okay. So Bree's guessing $60. Any other guess? You're gonna be surprised when I tell you the numbers. How much the average check at, and AJ says, boy, it was packed, but it's just a fancy IHOP. I had Waffle House that was better. So I like Waffle House too. I'm a big fan of Waffle House. It's simple, cost is good. The only thing that's bad about Waffle House is the vibes. You could be sometimes, usually it's like after you go out, late night Waffle House, that's the thing. San says 200. Sheesh. AJ says better 80. So the average check, wait for it, is $14. That's what they showed in the annual statement. That's what a person spends on average over there on a check. That is small. That is so small. I don't even know what's on their menu that's $14. Yes, I was surprised. I was like, $14, really? And that is significantly lower than their competition, like the Applebee's, the other companies, the IHOPs of the world. I mean, Denny's is a cheaper option, so you're not spending that much. Waffle House is the same thing. But yeah, $14 was the average check in 2024. So that's not good. That is not good. People need to be spending way more than that. So Rebecca says breakfast. No, so they don't specify. This is just the average check across breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Just the average check per people were $14. And breakfast is the least selling category of their food. Number one sale is dinner. Number two is lunch. And then number three is breakfast. So breakfast is the one that gets purchased the least amount. I mean, most old people that I met too usually go for the deals. AJ says we all dining solo out here. Yo, for real, I think they must be. People might be going solo out there and just getting them a little something. I mean, AJ, you went there. How are the food prices? Is it comparable to IHOP or is it a little bit more expensive? All right, so let's see. Individual store locations are affected by local conditions. Okay, general risk factors. Let's see if there's anything else juicy. So they do have some activist shareholders as well, trying to take position in the company, trying to influence the company. That is something also that they're dealing with. And usually what that happens when the activist investors see, hold up, this stock, if you do A, B, and C, you could get us the stock to be way better. They want to do it that way if they think the company is not being run well, or if like management of the company is not listening to these people that do have a good amount of shares, then they try to and just get people that do agree with them in the board. And they could do that by appointing directors on board seats. I mean, this is how the big boys play. Rebecca says, then the tab is pretty decent, actually. I know. No, I'm about to go to Cracker Barrel, man, for $14. Yo, you can't even get a decent meal at McDonald's nowadays for $14. Or maybe you can, but like, it's like it's like almost $14, I think, McDonald's now to get a drink, fries, and a sandwich. What else? Let's see. In addition to the properties mentioned above, we own or lease the following store properties, including both our 658 Cracker Barrel county stores and 68 locations. They do have a good amount of real estate, like as I mentioned. They do own 358, as you can see right here. They own 358 stores, like the land and the building. They only have one store in Rhode Island, where I live. In Texas, how many do they have in Texas? Texas, woo! They got 19 owned, 48 leased. I know, Sandy, you live in what, Alabama? 19, 25, 15. I know we got some Louisiana people in here. Louisiana, 8 owned, 2 leased, so they got 10. But you can see it's mostly a down south type of business, right? Would you say so? Looking at this, I mean, they do have some northeast, but compared to the amount of stores that they have down south, it's not even close. All right, we might have to get to their financials. So this is their executive officers. Julie, who is the CEO we just looked at. They have Laura, Christopher, Sarah Moore, Donna L. Roberts. Age of executives is about like low 50s. If you take the average. So Ms. Messina joined us as Chief Executive Officer-elect and assumed her current position of November 2023 when she became a member of our board of directors. Prior to joining us, she served as President International Taco Bell, a subsidiary of Yum Brands. So yeah, we saw her experience on LinkedIn. Yeah, Bree says it's definitely a Southern style restaurant. It absolutely is. So they talk about all the executives with their experiences. Okay, what else? What else is interesting? Oh, AB, if you're watching this too, man, I know our boy AB is out right now. He had to do something. He had to handle some business with family. Shout out to you, man. I hope everything is going well. I'm going to be rocking solo this week. So if anybody want to hop on, to do the show with me, you're welcome. Just say yes. And then tomorrow I could drop you the link and you could do it with me if you want. And we could discuss certain things, whether we already have our company for tomorrow. I think it was it Wingstop? And then Olive Garden, which is owned by the same company. So executive overview, they have 658 Cracker Barrel stores in 44 states. Let's see. Okay. Money. Let's look at the money. Total revenue. The following table highlights operating results over the past 2 years. Okay. Relationship to total revenue. So cost of goods sold consisted of about 31%. Labor is 36%. So compared to the previous year, their costs went up as far as labor. Other store operating expense went up. General and administrative expense went up. So costs in general have gone up. revenue in dollars. So they made $2.7 billion from the restaurant business. And then they made $676 million from their little gift shop within the restaurant. So all in total, they made $3.4 billion, which is pretty good actually. And especially when you compare it to, like, I don't think IHOP, if we look at IHOP, how much they made per year, like what was annual revenue for IHOP and Denny's? IHOP is a subsidiary of Dine Brands Global, along with Applebee's and Fuzzy Taco. Dine Brands Global reported total revenue of $812 million. Like, it has those three combined and only reported $812 million. And then Denny's reported an annual revenue of $452 million. So when you compare that to Cracker Barrel is significantly doing better than those companies. It's $3.4 billion. It's almost like 8 times what Denny's makes as far as revenue is concerned. So their biggest driving revenue is the restaurant actually, and not the retail. But ironically enough, their retail per square foot makes more money than other, like, compared to other retailers, like, because it's like a gift shop. So you compare it to like maybe the Targets, the Walmarts of the world, the amount of square foot that they use and how much sales they generate. When you look at that, it does actually well, like almost comparable to Walmart and other stores. So their retail is actually doing good, but it doesn't generate as much money as the restaurant. The restaurant is the biggest. 80% of their money is coming from that. Average store volume, so about 4.1 million people visited there, and then 1.1 million in volume for retail. Damn. So total revenue is 5.1 billion. Hold on. I'm a little confused here. I am confused here. We got to figure this out. Average store volumes 1 and 2. What is this thing? Average store volume includes sales of all stores except MSBC. So that's what it means. So the average store volumes, 5.1. Oh, okay. I see what's happening. Okay. So the average store, so any particular Cracker Barrel store makes about $5 million. And off that 5 million, 4 million is generated from a restaurant, and then 1 million from the retail. So just think about the Cracker Barrel that you went to. That particular Cracker Barrel on average is making about $5 million, which is pretty good. It's actually higher than even what McDonald's makes. McDonald's makes about 2 to 4. We saw Jack in the Box makes about 1 to 2. So they actually, from a revenue standpoint, that's pretty good. Average store volume, wow, $5 million per store. And we looked at Domino's as well. Domino's doesn't generate that much as well. And that number went up compared to the previous year. Okay. And the average check increase, so even though it was $14, it actually went up. So the previous year must have been even lower. But now here's a number that would scare me as an investor, right? It says comparable restaurant guest traffic decrease, meaning the amount of people that came to Cracker Barrel, the previous year, they lost 3.5%. And then this year, they lost another 5%. So a lot of people are not going into Cracker Barrel as they used to. 2 years of declining foot traffic. That is not that good. And then you look at the average check increase, inflation is already things have risen a lot, right? So if the check price only went up by 4.9%, they haven't raised their cost that much. So it does, as an investor, not as a customer, right? As a customer, that's good, right? Okay, they didn't raise their prices, that's good. But as an investor, you're going to be like, hold up. So then how are you handling all these price hikes? Because everything is expensive now. I mean, even eggs are super expensive. Like eggs used to be like $2, now they're like 10, right? So if you increased your menu by only 4.9%, or the average check, well, I guess the average check, no. So let me reframe. The average check increase. So the average person that spent only went up by 4.9%. So that's not that good. It's not necessarily how much they increased their price. My bad. Total revenue in 2024 increased 0.8%. So their revenue increased a little bit. In 2024, benefit from the additional week of 2024. And they have a weird fiscal year. They go from August to August. They don't do January to December. Like I said in the past before, a company can adopt any fiscal year that they mean. And a fiscal year means any 12-month period. And for whatever reason, some companies adopt it. Like the federal government, for example, starts their year, October? Or is it September to September? Or October to October? Why am I having a federal fiscal year? I think it's from October to October. Federal fiscal year. Yeah, October to September 30th. So and then states usually do from July to July. So companies could do that too. If for whatever reason, if it makes more sense for them, they could do it. And then this company does it too. So that's how they report their number from August to August. So our retail sales are made primarily to our restaurant guests. The decrease in our comparable store retail sales in 2024 as compared to 2023 resulted primarily from the decrease in guest traffic. So they even mention it. Guest traffic has gone down. And you look at their cost of goods. Actually, that did go down. Well, that's good. I mean, maybe they sold less items. So that's okay. That's why. So the retail cost of goods went down because there's less foot traffic. And then it says the decrease in restaurant cost of goods sold as a percentage of restaurant revenue in 2024 was primarily the result of our menu price increase referenced above. So they did increase their menu price as well. We presently expect the rate of commodity inflation to be approximately 2 to 3%. Labor. So labor cost is going up. Restaurant workers are not easy to come by nowadays. So 2024 compared to 2023, an increase. Store hourly labor, that increased. Management's compensation, that went up. Employee healthcare expense, that went up. Other wages went down, but 3 out of the 4 costs went up. Other store operating expense, that also went up. Things like costs associated with our new customer loyalty program, Cracker Barrel Rewards. Who has Cracker Barrel Rewards? Who goes enough times that you have Cracker Rewards? It must be older people. General and administrative expenses also went up. It was 5% the previous year, now it's 6%. So cost in general up. Also professional fees, payroll and related expense, incentive compensation expense, those also went up. So they're having a rising cost across everything. Store closing costs, operating income. They only made 45 million. What? And then they made 120 million the previous year. You know, the thing is, I mean, that's pretty low. What do they make for a net income? And then you look at the interest expense alone is 20 million. That's just interest. You know what I mean? That's not even the principal. This is just interest. That's big, 20 million. And your operating income was 45 million. So almost half of that is going to interest. And then our effective tax rate is lower than statutory rates, primarily due to the benefits of tax credit. They did have some tax credit, so that's good for them, not good for us, right? Look at this, another company not paying taxes. 2023, they only paid 4.4% in taxes. In 2024, they got a benefit of 69.2%. You see that bracket, the parentheses means it's a benefit, a reduction. It's not an actual expense for them. And it says it right here. It says the decrease in our effective tax rate reflects the impact of tax credits and lower income before tax, as well as favorable audit settlements. It says we expect our effective tax rate for 2025 to be approximately 7%. These are -7% and -11%. So they're going to have a tax credit, actually. So they're going to get some money back. Net income consisted of the following for the past 2 years. And actually, one of the reasons that they got this is the tax benefit. So they made 40 million in net income. But when you take this in perspective, you made $3 billion, 3.5, right? Let's just look, make sure they have the right number. Yeah, so they have 3.47. We could round it up to 3.5. $3.5 billion you made. 3.5 billion, 10% of that would be $350 million. Now, 1% of that is 35 million. This company is making about where is my, I'll bring up the calculator. So 45 million, right? Where's my calculator? So this company is making 45,119 divided by 3.5. Oh, I should have done actually. All right. 3.5 billion. $50,000. About 1.2% that they're making in net profit. Oh, really? Oh, thank you, Bree, for letting me know. Hold on, let me reshare my screen because I think it's because I am sharing my entire screen and the sound. Oh, let me reshare my screen. Is that better? Let me know. By the way, good looking out for telling me that. I appreciate that. Don't they have a saying in the Bible or something? It's like only a true friend would tell you when your face is dirty. But yeah, let me know if the mic is, Yes, thank you. Appreciate you, Bree. Cracker Barrel. Why'd you mention that, Rebecca? Cracker Barrel. Or is it the message delayed? I know sometimes the messages come delayed, so it might be at a different segment. Okay, so they made 1.2%, interest expense 20.9. Talked about this. What else? Leases 725,000, taxes. Okay. Let's see if we go to the financial statement. We can look at that, then go back to the stock. Do they have a table of contents? Okay. Oh, come on, guys. You don't have a... Let's see. What page is the financial statement? 52. Happy Monday, guys. How is your Monday going? Mondays. Let's look at their financial stuff. So this is where they talk about how much of their food purchases. Who audited them? Critical audit matter. Hold up. Oh yeah, Bree, your Monday has been super productive. That's what's up. That is what's up. It's good to have a productive Monday. Get some momentum for the week. So some critical audit matters discussed by the auditors. It says the company self-insures a significant portion of its worker compensation and general liability program, records a reserve for... okay, I mean, it's a critical audit matter. They talk about... as far as the reserve estimates and stuff. Okay, I mean, it's important, but it's not... We don't need to worry about it for this discussion. All right, so let's look at their balance sheet. How much do they have in cash? In thousands, except share data. Damn, that's it? Only $12 million? No way, Jose. That's all they have? You generate $3.5 billion in revenue, and you only have $12 million in cash? Are you freaking kidding me? What in the world are you doing with your money? Hold up. Account receivable, $39 million. This is money that's owed to them. Income tax receivable, this is from the tax credit. That's $9.8 million. They almost have enough income tax coming to them, to the cash that they have. Inventory, $180 million. That's a lot. So that means they're buying, their average retail store has over 4,100 products. The little gift shop that you see, like, that's a 4,100 products. That's a lot. And you can see that being reflected with the inventory because they 180 million. That's crazy. And that's not even the selling cost, guys. That's how much they purchased it for. So when you take in consideration how much they sell it for, even at like 20, 30% markup, this is representing like a 500 million. If they mark it up like 20, 30% at a $500 million dollar inventory. So that's a lot. So own total current assets about 278 million, but you really got to take out the inventory, because if you have inventory but it's not moving fast, it's like if you own a business and you sell, you sell cars, but if your cars, you're not able to sell it, it is technically an asset for you, but if you're not able to sell it and make money from it, it's really just an item sitting in your parking lot. That's all it is. The one thing that they do have, and this is a hidden gem for them, they do own land and buildings over 350 Cracker Barrel stores. And these most Cracker Barrel stores are located off the highway, which is, prime real estate, because, it's highly visible and stuff for a commercial standpoint. So they have $253 million in land, but this is cost, and this company has been in business for a long time. It doesn't represent the actual market value. The market value could be really high. Building and improvements, $823 million. Restaurant and other equipment, $896 million. So in total, so this is where most of their assets is at $2.4 billion. Less accumulated depreciation, so they've taken out some cost. So really, their property is about $959 million, but the market value could be extremely higher than that. It could be $3, $4, $5 billion. Intangible assets they don't have. So total assets, though, based on what they report, is $2 billion. Liabilities. Let's look at liabilities. So account payable, they have $162 million. That's a lot. Current portion of long-term debt. All in total current liabilities, $454 million. Their current assets is $278 million. So you can't even cover your current liabilities. You have too many liabilities. And then they have another long-term debt, about $476 million. I mean, compared to the amount of real estate that they own, the long-term debt is not too crazy, but their short-term liabilities is a little high. That's not cool. All right, let's look at their cash flow statement, and then we'll go to the stock. How much cash did they actually spend? Let's see. Purchase and returns of common stock. So they bought their own stock too. We're going to see it in the statement of cash flows too. Okay, so net income was $40 million, and then the actual cash provided by operating activities is $168 million. But then what do they do with that money? So they did buy more property and equipment, $128 million that they spent on buying equipment. Proceeds from insurance recoveries of property, okay. So they spent $124 million. So they had $168 from the operation of their business, their retail and restaurant, actual cash that they got after they paid everything. And then they invested $124 million of that into property and equipment. And then from a financing standpoint, they did issue some long-term debt. So they borrowed more money on new debt at $406 million. And then they paid some old debt that they owe at $346 million. And then they also paid dividends. The company does pay dividends. So if you own the stock, you would get compensated. And they paid $116 million in dividends. And at the end of the day, that's how they ended up with that $12 million in cash. For a company that's generating $3.5 billion, a $12 million in cash is pretty low, guys. That is low. Like, we take it in percentage, like I said, right? 1% of 3.5 billion is 35 million. Even 0.5% is 17.5 million. 0.5% of your revenue. And they don't even have that. And obviously, this company has been in business for many years. So cash management, that is concerning when I'm looking at it. It's like, what's going on, man? I know you got some properties. Perhaps that's what they're doing, but they only have spent $124 million. I don't know. I just don't like the cash management. That's not, especially for the amount of debt that they have. They need to do a better cash management. Because the thing that makes McDonald's has a lot of real estate, just to compare it to another restaurant. But the thing that makes it different with McDonald's is McDonald's has franchisees. So it rents to these people that franchise. So not only they pay rent to McDonald's, and plus they also pay royalty. This company doesn't do franchise. Cracker Barrel is all company operated stores. So the benefit of having a building, it depends. It might be beneficial, but in certain instances, it might not be as beneficial, especially when you have huge real estate and cost of upkeep and all that. So yeah, their cash balance is very concerning. So let's look at their stock. How is their stock doing? So foot traffic has gone down. Another thing that we should look at is the average store, Cracker Barrel store generates, I think it was 5 million, right? 5.26 million. Okay. Did this number go up? Did average sale go up from year to year? And this is important because this is how you assess growth about a restaurant. Is, you know, if they sold 5 million one year, next year you hope that they sell a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. So come on, AI. AI is not as smart sometimes. Not the total revenue. No, did average store sales in Cracker Barrel increase year from 2023 to 2024? So despite an increase in overall company revenue, the average revenue per Cracker Barrel store actually decreased slightly from fiscal year 2023 to fiscal year 2024. Again, so metrics to measure, right? First, foot traffic. Foot traffic has gone down. Second, the average revenue per store has also declined. And then the other thing that you also got to look at is, what is the cost? Like, how much money do they make per square feet? How much revenue do they generate per square feet? Because this is another way that you could assess. You could do this with retail, like, you know, the Macy's, the Walmarts of the world, or you could do this with a restaurant too. Because if you occupy a big space, every part of the square foot is costing you money. So then you have to assess your sales per that. So their retail sales. So retail sales means this is just the gift portion of it, because Cracker Barrel has a restaurant business and the retail portion. So the retail portion, approximately 515. No, including, let's see. What is sales per square foot, including the restaurant? So using the fiscal year 2024 figure, the average Cracker Barrel store generates approximately $524 per total square feet. All right, now if we compare that, so it says their overall sales per square feet places it in a competitive position within the full service restaurant and retail sectors. So as far as maximizing their space, I guess they're doing you know, a little bit better actually than other full service restaurants. Like, let's compare them to Applebee's. Compare their number to their competitors. And the reason why we're looking at all this is because when you're doing an investment, just to kind of help you gauge, hey, is this company something that's seeing growth, and do I see a future for it? So Cracker Barrel is 524. IHOP is between 450 to 600 per square feet that they generate. Denny's 441 to 580. But, you got to take the consideration that, none of these other business models also have a gift shop. And, IHOP is able to generate $450 to $600 per square feet, and they don't even have the gift shop. That does make you consider, hold up, what's the big thing? And now the other thing that we got to look at is, who is their main demographic for? Is it older people? Is it younger people? Who is the main demographic eating food at Cracker Barrel? I guarantee you it's older people, Cracker Barrel. Again, the reason that we're looking at this is because you want to see growth. If it's mainly older people, and if they're not going to be alive, within the next 20, 30 years, and there's not a lot of interest from the younger group, that does make you worried. Sam says it is, and it does say it right here. It says Cracker Barrel's traditional core demographic consists of older adults, particularly those aged 65 and above, along with families. And then 40% of their guests each year are travelers and tourists passing through on highways. So the restaurant strategy of locating near interstate exits caters directly to this group. So, I mean, that part is good, because if 40% of your travels and you're located really well right on the highway, that's good. So evolving demographic trends, it says, since 2022, Cracker Barrel has seen an increase in visits from younger customers, including the 25 to 34 and 44 to 55 age ranges. And this has been driven by revitalizing the menu, add new offering, modernize technology. But it says Cracker Barrel reported as of 2024 that it lost 16% of its customer base since 2020 and acknowledged a loss of brand relevance. And this is one of the reasons why they changed their brand logo and they're changing the store, because you might say whatever you want with them, but the numbers don't lie. They are facing a challenge and you got to do something. And they're doing that by changing the store, changing the logo, changing some things up. So we've looked at all this just to say, okay, now we could look at the stock. We could say, so for most part, in almost all areas, except for how much money it makes per square feet, it lags. Foot traffic has gone down. Amount of money they make in per store has gone down. Costs have gone up as far as from an operation standpoint. Labor has gone up. As far as popularity and like customers, that also has gone down, as you can see, 16% of the customer base. So just from a general restaurant standpoint, it's kind of not looking that good. Now, when you also look at the stock now, so we're looking at Cracker Barrel stock. Now we can use that knowledge that we got about the restaurant, they're declining sales. And then we also didn't even mention the recent controversy that happened with their logo change and how that affected their stock. It dropped it 10%. So currently trades at 54.26. And, the first thing I would look at here is earning per share. How much is it making money per share? $2.57. And then that number, you look at it and you're like, well, I don't know what that means. But the higher that number is, the better that is. And a good way to see, hey, is this good number, is compared to other companies, like their competitors. So Apple is traded under, not Apple, so let's say Denny's. Let's look at Denny's. Denny's, which is not even as, I guess, Cracker Barrel, I would say there's a little bit more bougie compared to Denny's, not by much, but it's a little bit more higher class. Also, look, the earning per share is lower for Denny's. So when you compare those two, Cracker Barrel is better, but this also trades at $4.50. But now let's compare it to maybe let's see, Longhorn Steakhouse. What would be a good comparison? Maybe Olive Garden, Drayden. What's the parent company of Apple? There's not Apple. Applebee's. Dine Brands. Okay. So Dine Brands. Dine Brands. So if we compare their earning per share, $2.95. So earning per share, and this is the company that owns Applebee's. So we could say, okay, that's not bad. I mean, Cracker Barrel is up there. So that's good. That's comparable. Cracker Barrel. Then the other thing is, how much is it? The PE ratio. This tells you how expensive it is. It is trading at 21. When I looked at Denny's earlier, it was significantly lower. So this means it's a little overpriced. They do have a dividend, which is good, but it's a little low. They recently cut it. It used to be higher than that. It's only 1.84%. So that means if you bought one stock right now at the current price at $54, let's just say 55 for easy math, you would get close to 2% of that. So it's about like $1.10 that you would get, which is not much. It's really a numbers game when you have more. The beta, you want the beta of the stock to be less than 1, because the higher the beta is, that means it is volatile, and it shows that the price, jumps. Over the last year, it has been a kind of up and this is one day. Let's look at 1 year. Within 1 year, the stock went from $39.75, so at the lowest, and it had hit at $1.65 in July 25th, and then now has gone down to 54. So just from a month ago, it dropped almost $20. That news about the brand change significantly affected it. Now, what are other analysis? What does other analysts think of the stock? So there's 9 analysts covering it, as you can see right here, as of August. 2 are recommending it to be a buy. 4 are saying hold. 2 are saying underperform, meaning that it's not doing so well. This essentially means like sell. And then the other one is saying sell. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 1 saying sell. The average price that they're estimating it to be is at $55.14. The current price is $54.26. So not much of an upside. Only like about 80 cents upside. So not significant. That's barely anything. It's better that you invest in S&P 500. So if you believe in these estimates, right, you got to make your own decisions, but you take different perspectives. Another thing that we got to look at is insider activity. Let's see if like people are optimistic within the company. If you see a lot of buying activity within the company, that would kind of give you an idea like, hold on, are they optimistic about the stock? Are they buying their own stock? Man, I can't believe it's already past midnight, guys. We're going to wrap this up soon. Let's look at this real quick. So before we look at insider action, who holds the stock currently? BlackRock, big big boy right there, Vanguard, State Street. So you got the usual suspects owning some of the stock. So only 1% is held by insiders, and 116% of shares held by institution. How does that work though? Hold up. What is that? I want to look at this. How could a company own? How can a company be owned over 100% by so a company cannot technically be owned over 100% by associated ownership. Reporting showing this are usually due to data errors, most common from delays in reporting, or the effects of short selling, where shares are lent and resold, causing multiple claims of ownership on the same shares and inflating total reported holdings. While some websites might incorrectly report institutional ownership exceeding 100%, this data is an anomaly and not a literal reflection of ownership. Yeah, that tripped me out for a second because it was saying 116% of the shares are held by institution. I'm like, how could they own over 100%? That didn't make no sense. So that one is an error. And last thing we look at is, let's see who insider activity. Come on, Yahoo. Where's the insider? Where in the world? Am I tripping? Where is it? This is the history. Where is the insider information? What's going on here? I don't even see it. That's so weird. Okay, so we're not gonna see no insider activity. And the last thing, let's see what the people are saying on Seeking Alpha. What is the see a hold, not covered, hold, another hold. Yeah. No recent news. They're talking about they admit that they could have done a better job after the new logo backlash. People thought that it was a woke thing. And it almost lost $100 million in value as stock plunges after new logo release. That is crazy. $100 million because of a logo change. Yeah, guys. I mean, overall, you know, when I see this business from a revenue standpoint, it actually is impressive how much money they make. They generate $3.5 billion in sales, which is pretty good. But when I look at their net income and how much they generate, it's less than, a little over 1%. And the average restaurant generates about 3 to 5% of net income. So they already kind of lower on the end as far as profitability. They do have a good amount of debt as well. As far as current liabilities, that's not good. Store traffic restaurant traffic has gone down. The amount of money that each Cracker Barrel is making has also gone down. Their costs have gone up in all areas, whether that's labor, whether it's their cost of materials, in most areas has gone down. And then from a leadership standpoint, whether I agree with it or not, I don't think it was a big deal as far as the brand change, but for whatever reason, it has caused a big stir that they lost $100 million in value because of the uproar. And maybe some of it is politically motivated and stuff. So maybe they're not doing a good job aligning themselves properly. That also could affect the business. And then from a stock perspective, the stock is a little expensive compared to how much money that they're making. It's not highly profitable. The dividend is not that high. It's a little bit volatile at 1.47 in beta. The PE is a little bit high for me for the amount of money that they make in per share. So I don't really see this as something I'll invest in. The only bright spot that I see with Cracker Barrel is they do have a good amount of land and buildings. And if they're able to leverage that and use that and use it properly, in addition to the new rebranding that they're doing, upgrading their restaurant, if that gets more foot traffic and even bad publicity, right? Even this new logo change, even though it's bad publicity, if it gets more people through the restaurant, those are two bright spots that I see. So the land and the real estate that they own, plus maybe even through this bad publicity and the stores being rebranded, getting some newer demographic in outside of the 65-year-old and then urban communities. And the other thing that excites me about their brand is this Maple Street biscuit. I find this one to be, I've never been to the store, but I look at some of the food offering that they have on their website. It looks fresh. It looks kind of exciting. It's more geared toward urban type as well. So it's not the same demographic going to Cracker Barrel with this Maple Street biscuits, and they own this. And guys, let me know if there's one near you. Please, if you get a chance, please try it and let me know. It does look good. So I see a few bright spots, but as of currently, I don't see it as an investable thing. And that's it. That's my conclusion on this, guys. Appreciate you guys for joining me, man. Don't be fooled by marketing. That boy will be underwhelming. So you're saying as far as Maple Street biscuits, I know maybe they are fooling me. Who knows, right? I need a real life testimony, but it definitely looks good. Yeah, someone, if there's one around you, please let me know. Because Cracker Barrel also looked good initially in pictures. I was like, oh, their food looked nice. Marketing would definitely fool you. Tomorrow, per request of San, we are doing Wingstop, guys. Wingstop. And today we have concluded Cracker Barrel. Wingstop is tomorrow. It is a Wingstop stock. Bam. This is what we're going to cover tomorrow. Look at Wingstop stock. It's pretty pricey. And this trades at 53 times their earning, even higher than Cracker Barrel. This is what we're going to cover tomorrow. Oh, so AJ is a fan of Wingstop. He said it's the best, most flawless business. Oh, those are big compliments. The Microsoft of the wing world? Oh, I am actually excited. Okay. I do not know much about Wingstop except for, I know Rick Ross. Doesn't Rick Ross own a whole bunch? How many Wingstops does Rick Ross own? Oh, that's the first thing that comes up. Oh, only 30? Why did I think he owns a lot more than that? Oh, I mean, even 30 is a lot. AJ says, I don't know anything about the business. Let's see if I'm right. Okay. I would be very impressed. I mean, there are not always, there are businesses that are like known and then low key, like doing well. Like Roku the other day impressed us so much. I was like, Roku, what? Like, I was so impressed by Roku, but I thought Roku was like this little, nonsense business, but it impressed me. San says, hype it up. AJ says, Wingstop slogan was Wingstop does it better. Wingstop does it right. Oh, really? That's what's their slogan? Wingstop slogan. Oh, so back in the days, it used to be that? Was Wingstop does it better, Wingstop does it right. So their official slogan is where flavor gets its wings. The slogan, their mission statement for Cracker Barrel is actually pleasing people. That's what it is. Mission statement of Cracker Barrel. Just kind of, yeah, pleasing people is their mission. So tomorrow, Wingstop, guys. And usually wings are cheap on Tuesday. So get your wing on, bring your wing on. We don't have AB to be doing these like live journalism event, you know what I'm saying? Where he'd be going to the stores, grabbing some wings, you know what I mean? We need some live journalists out here. We need some volunteers. Who's trying to go to Wingstop tomorrow? Get yourself some wings. Come on camera, and then tell us what you think. I don't remember the last time I had Wingstop. The stock didn't go down, bro. It was just dipping into some ranch. It absolutely is dipping now, but the stock is overpriced. I mean, it trades 55 times its earning. So I don't know. There must be some type of hype behind Wingstop because that stock is a little expensive, over $300. That ranch be hitting, so the ranch is good, huh? Bree says yes. So guys, I'm about to sign off. It's almost 12:30 midnight. AB said they had the best fries. I can't argue. That man is correct. Oh, so AB already co-signed for Wingstop, huh? Before he even left. He did the live journalism before he left. That boy knew. Restaurant week is coming up. It's restaurant week, guys. We're covering all restaurant companies. So we do have a pick for tomorrow. If you do have a suggestion for Wednesday, AJ or Bree or San or Rebecca or Mike and whoever else is in the chat, let me know. Don't have a pick for Wednesday. So any suggestions that you have, a restaurant, when you come into New Orleans, Steve, soon. I've been to Louisiana, but never to New Orleans. That actually is one of the spots I got to go to. It's on my bucket list. I don't know when I'm going to come, though. But you don't even stay in New Orleans, San, right? You live in Alabama. But yeah, I definitely got to visit my boy AB before, he leaves New Orleans. I don't know if he's staying there for a long time or not. You and Rebecca got to get on that plan for sure. He said, when after this guy goes, Shreveport. This guy is not even in the country. That's the word. He had some family things to handle. Give me a month and I'll be AJV has all the jokes, huh? AJ, we need a comedy hour too, man, from you. We need AJ the comedy tour over here. All right, guys. No, coming to Louisiana, not NOLA. I've been to Louisiana, man. No disrespect to you guys, man. There's not much to see in Louisiana, though. No disrespect, guys. Maybe New Orleans is better, but Louisiana is kind of. But I say that with all love. You know what I mean? Louisiana, I don't know, man. It ain't for your boy. But I'll come to see you guys in New Orleans. It looks like New Orleans got some culture. Boy saw the and not the rouge. Yes, maybe I saw that. That maybe that's what happened. I didn't see the rouge, man. I just like the casino over there. That's it. You haven't experienced that the right way yet. Yeah, perhaps that's what it is. I haven't seen, and I haven't met cool people like you guys, man. The day ones. So, man, again, guys, much love to the day ones, first of all. Shout out San, shout out Bree, shout out AJ, shout out Rebecca, shout out Mike, who was here earlier. And then if you're rewatching this, shout out to you as well. Please comment, subscribe, like. We're trying to reach 500 subscribers by the end of the year. That is our goal. Got to eat alligators. Yo, I actually do want to eat alligators. I swear I want to. Just so that I could say I ate an alligator. So you ate an alligator before? Man, that would be an experience. I would love to have an alligator. I don't mind it. I'm not even disgusted by it. There's certain food you're like, no, alligator, I want to try it. But that's it, guys, for me. Thank you so much. Again, much love. Tomorrow we're covering Wingstop Restaurant Week. You already know alligator sausage is good. But no, we could try it together. Okay. You know what? We got to get Rebecca to try it too. We all try it on the Profit Report. Brie, alligator sausage, huh? Man, all right. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. It is the Profit Report with AB and Steve. My boy AB's out, so we're covering for him for the week. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Much love again. Have a good night.